98 Not Out, sponsored by Shepherd Neame, proud supporters of cricket in Essex.
And welcome back there. A couple of tunes for you, and we welcome our first guest this evening, Mr. Dominic Cork. Dominic, how are you?
Good evening, yeah, brilliant. Well, I'm better now because the rain's gone away and it's lovely sunshine up here in Derbyshire.
Oh, that's nice.
We haven't had any rain here. It's been really nice all afternoon.
You wouldn't get. No, we had rain yesterday, but today was a lot better. So yesterday was a bit of a damp squib and no practice, and we're back practicing today cricket. So happy.
I was up in North Yorkshire the weekend. My wife's from Harrogate, and we were.
Oh, nice.
We were up there, and luckily, not only was it wet, but it was also nice and cold at North Yorkshire Water Park, which was a really good idea on Monday.
Yeah, sometimes that's what happens when you come above, obviously, the Watford Gap. It gets a little bit cold. That's what most of my son cricket fans tell me.
So just to put the practicing into context, you are now the T20 coach at Derbyshire, aren't you?
I am, yes. But today was more because I'm helping out a little bit with 4-day as well now. We were getting ready to, we're going up to Durham on Saturday, Friday night, to play a 4-day game. We're top of the North group, so it's a big game. So, yeah, but I am T20 head coach, getting ready for our first game next week against Leicester. At Leicester, we play every game away from home because our ground at Derbyshire is at the moment biosecure for the England ladies and also the Australians who have just arrived. So they're using our ground. So we're practicing at a lovely school called Repton School up in just not far from the cricket ground, and every game's away from home.
Quite a well-known school at Repton, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
So talking about your playing days, I mean, obviously Derbyshire.
Oh, how old are you?
Older than you. I'm older than you.
Both older than you.
Well, okay.
So, I mean, we've just finished this series against the West Indies, and you've been taking part in some of those debate shows with the wonderful Mr. Butcher.
Yes.
And, you know, I think the general feeling was it was great to get live cricket back, and it was great that the West Indies made all the necessary effort to get over here. But thinking back to your playing days, you absolutely loved playing against the West Indies, didn't you? 46 wickets in 9 tests, including, of course, that hat-trick at Old Trafford. That was only in your 3rd test. What are your memories of all that?
Well, yeah, obviously, when those stats come out, it's like, well, what was it against the West Indies? I don't know what it was against the West Indies. I just seemed to always liked playing against them. It was a contest. It was probably going back to the 80s, watching my idol Botham and Viv Richards and Garner and Holding and Croft and Ambrose and all these people that I'd watched. So when I eventually got in that side, I just thought, I just want to play well against them. And
it was still a decent side.
It went quite well. It was, sorry?
It was still a decent West Indies side in the
It was a decent West Indies side, yeah, even though if you listen to Darren Goff, he'll tell you it wasn't because, his hot trick apparently was better than mine because he got 9, 10 and 11 out for Australia. But that's Darren Goff for you. Who played for Essex, so that's quite apt. Yeah, you've got the likes of Brian Lara at the time, Richie Richardson, Ambrose, Walsh, Jimmy Adams, Carl Hooper, Shivarine Chanderpaul. So yeah, it was a decent side. They're great memories, but you seem to sometimes forget, really, if I'm honest. But when people remind you, it just brings a smile to my face because it was always a passion of mine to try and play at the highest level, and I didn't play enough of it. Of course, I wanted to play more of Test cricket. I only played 37 Test matches, but at least that's on the CV.
Yeah. I remember that hat-trick actually held up a cricket match that I was taking part in because we wanted to see if you were going to get your hat-trick before we did the toss. So it's, very, very
memorable.
The
big thing about it is, somebody asked me a question the other day on Twitter, actually, and it was about that hat-trick. It was, whatever it was July sometime in 95, and I put a question out, what's significant about the hat-trick ball for England? I unfortunately got 3 hat-tricks in my career, and Carl Hooper was involved in all 3. So
really?
It's ridiculous, yeah. I've LBW, obviously England, West Indies, LBW, Derbyshire, Kent, and he caught my catch at Lancashire, which was Kevin Peterson, funny enough, caught by Carl Hooper, which obviously I thoroughly enjoyed.
Did he say he was quite glad not to be on the receiving end of one for a change?
Yeah, he did. But I was happy that I just got Mr. Peterson out. That made me even happier.
Did you politely point which way the pavilion was as well?
No, I never. I think if you know me, I never said a lot on the pitch to anybody. So I actually said unlucky and best of luck next time.
He took it well then.
Yeah, we had Daggers on a few weeks ago, and he's got a really great story about when he got Peterson out. I won't steal his story, but he took great pleasure along with all his teammates and along with all the Notts teammates as well.
Look, he was a good player, Kevin Peterson. You can't, whatever people think of him, he's an excellent player, one of England's best that have been around. I think if somebody voted about him, I would say that in all forms of the game. I mean, 2020, some people didn't play it. Some people didn't play 50 over cricket. I think he's probably one of the best we've had. So that's where I put Kevin Peterson.
Yeah, and he's sort of the evolution of the modern player, really, isn't he? He was one of the first.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, you mentioned there about being shy and quiet on the field.
Yes, I am off the field as well.
Yeah, I've heard. What is it about all-rounders that have to be these larger-than-life characters? I'm sort of thinking back down the years. Now, you've obviously mentioned Ian Botham as one, but pretty much every decent all-rounder I'm thinking of, it was a real character. And
well, if you think about it, you've got a few that have been in England after Botham. You've got the likes of Andrew Flintoff, Ben Stokes. You've got other people who've tried to be like that. Myself, Philip de Freitas. All these people. They're all characters. I think it's because you're in the game and you want to be in the game all the time, and that's why you want to become an all-rounder. Even though I wasn't really classed, I would say I was a bowling all-rounder instead of being a proper all-rounder. Even Ben Stokes, well, you could get the team as either a batter or a bowler. Probably both of them could have done. Flintoff maybe more bowling than batting, but I think because you're in the game so much and you want to be in the game so much, and I think that's your sort of personality. So hence why you're always up for the battle. You always want to be involved in stick. If I go and play a 2020 game at Chelmsford, and that lovely crowd that make you feel so welcome,
Fortress Chelmsford,
and they never let you, they never have a word with you in front of that little tent up the corner at deep mid wicket, and you turn around and that's what you want. You want the banter, and you know what I mean. That's why I think I enjoyed it, and most all rounders enjoy that banter and that excitement about being able to turn a game on its head.
But by that same sort of logic, does that mean that opening test batsmen tend to be more withdrawn, more serious, more...
Well, I don't want to ever say nasty thing about opening batsmen, but yes, probably Atherton and good old Graham Gooch, they're all Jeffrey, quite serious, they're all, but they're still very, very good players, of course they are, but a bit more calm and collected, and we just leave a ball, whereas an all-rounder's looking to hack it out of the park for six.
Now, in doing a bit of research on you this afternoon, only a little bit, not too much. We'll skip past PCA Player of the Year 95, Wisden Cricket of the Year 96. What jumped out at me was something I genuinely didn't know, that you were part of the Sky commentary team in Pakistan in 2009 when that bus was attacked. Can you tell us a bit about what it was like that day?
Yeah, well, I went back there to, I was presenting actually for 10 Sports out in Pakistan. We'd already, I think we were on the third test match at the time, so we'd been to Karachi, we'd been to, I think, Islamabad, and then we were coming to Lahore. And I remember playing golf with Chris Broad, who's now a match referee, and he was a match referee then, and we were playing golf. And we'd read a few stories in the paper, but we just thought, no, this isn't going to happen. And normally what happened is the two buses would go two teams, and then the officials, and then the press behind. And for some reason there was some stalling going on, and we just said as a commentator, let's just go. So we went the other way to the ground. The buses obviously went after us, and then when we were just arriving at the Gaddafi Stadium, all of a sudden you heard what I thought it was firecrackers. I thought, that's a bit early for firecrackers. And then when we actually looked, it was probably about 400 yards in front of us, we just saw gunmen, shooting at the Sri Lankan bus, shooting at the umpire's bus. And then obviously, the rest is what you saw on TV, just the carnage of seeing is, Samara Weera, who'd been shot in the knee, Paul Farbrace and a few others with a bit of shrapnel in their arms. So obviously it was frightening, and it's such a shame because it was a really good tour. Yunus Khan had got 300 in a test match, but it was obviously a very frightening episode. And one that was really, it took away, I think, a lot of the spirit within Pakistan towards cricket because it had happened, and unfortunately they weren't able to host cricket for a long time. And
well, that's right. They're clawing their way back in now, which is good to see.
I've just been there as well with Mark Butcher. We went to the PSL, so it was the first time back. So what I was going to say was it was great to be back. The security was magnificent. I felt safe. The people were so excited to have cricket back. So to see the smile on the supporters' faces and to take cricket back there was fantastic. And I so hope that the big international teams will now go back to Pakistan, including England. I don't see any reason why they cannot go back to Pakistan, and I'm sure that will happen soon.
So, Dominic, obviously you mentioned earlier Derbyshire top of the Northern Division, all chasing down the mighty Essex at the moment. Have you been enjoying the Bob British?
Are we what? We're 7 points behind you.
Well,
Sorry, I thought we were 107 points behind you when you're chasing you down. Sorry.
In terms of the Bob Willis Trophy, what do you think of it? Is it a good sort of format to?
Well, I quite like it. Look, there's a few things I don't like you have to declare after 120 overs. I think sides who can dominate with the bat and bat people out of it. But that's certain things. But I actually like the three divisions. I like it. I think you'll see there's a lot more results. There's a lot of things happening. I think the good teams, who started well will reach the top, and we'll see at the end who gets there. Obviously, Essex are a fantastic side and deserve to be up there. The way they're playing their cricket under Anthony McGrath and the way that obviously Chris Silverwood took them to there, it's been excellent. And so you'd expect Essex to be up there at Lords probably in that 5-day championship game. But I like the format. I think hopefully it'll be kept like that. And let's just get rid of this, obviously, COVID, because we'd love to have supporters back. I think cricket without supporters is terrible. A sport without it is terrible. And let's hope that we can get a vaccine, get rid of it. Obviously, get these people who've been really ill and poorly back to obviously good health, and then get the supporters back in.
I think a few people have been discussing the idea of three divisions, and obviously not necessarily regionalised, but having the sort of and more like a sort of league style system. It would make for more interesting cricket, wouldn't it? Maybe a fewer games, but
well, it would, but it also, I am a big believer fewer games gets better quality. There's a lot of people who will say that fewer counties will do that. I don't agree. I'm a big believer in, obviously this shortened 3-tier competition with the fact that you play a 5-day final at the end to see who the best is. I imagine with an elongated season you could have two semi-finals and then into a final, but obviously we're just happy to be getting cricket out. So for me, I just think it's a good way of maybe changing it around, and I think a lot of players are enjoying it.
Brett and I both attend a lot of club cricket at weekends, being Dad's taxi, etc., etc. And it looks to be that clubs are benefiting from this, because where people can't get along to watch their county, they might be getting along because they're allowed to go and watch their local club, and you can have a drink and you can watch the game, and as long as you spread out and be a bit sensible. Have you been out to much club cricket this year? Have you seen the same sort of thing up where you are?
I haven't been out to a lot. I live in a little village called Swarkston, and Swarkston Cricket Club. I'm actually looking at it now. I'm standing outside. It's just down the road here. I haven't been there because generally I've been either working or been at games with Derbyshire, but I've seen that they've been getting some quite decent crowds there, as in like you say, it's not a big ground. That's probably right, and then that's good for league cricket, because I was brought up on the fact that we spent the whole weekend at a cricket ground. And I mean, as a family, we would go on a Saturday morning to practice, play Saturday afternoon, play Sunday morning under 14s, under 18s cricket, and then a friendly in the afternoon. And we'd spend our whole weekend there. That sometimes goes, doesn't it? Because as soon as the cricket finishes, in some parts of England, everybody goes away because they want to go out with their wives. Or, that social atmosphere seemed to have gone. And maybe, I know you can't socialise, but maybe this may be a positive for league cricket, that people then come and follow, watch. You get back to those good old days where the bars are serving at the cricket ground and people are enjoying themselves.
I was down watching an under-19 game last week, and there was a real proper crowd down there of parents, supporters, lots of neighbours that had come down and brought friends to just enjoy a nice warm evening. watching a bit of cricket and having a drink. I think you're right. I think this is shooting something into the arm of club cricket, and particularly at a time when they need it, because I think smaller clubs more than anyone, are so exposed to the financial hardships of not playing that when you can get things like this and you can get people buying drinks. Although I didn't notice, sat 6 feet to my right under a baseball cap pulled right down to try and cover his long nose, was a certain Sky colleague of yours who was trying his best to be inconspicuous and in disguise, but
right, okay.
on a hot evening when you've got a baseball cap, a hoodie, and a waterproof.
I'll tell you one thing he wouldn't do. He wouldn't go anywhere near the bar, because that means he has to get his money out as well. Tightest man you've ever known him. Let me just tell you. He has got the shortest arms and the longest pockets you've ever known. You go around, where have you gone? Oh, hello. Gone.
Have you seen Colin Graves' piece or they done for the Telegraph, talking about county sides needing to go part-time and maybe only playing white ball cricket?
Look, I think there's going to be a lot of people who have got certain ideas. I think we're in an uncertain world, not just cricket, but sport and business. And I think, it is a business. Thankfully that we got international cricket and Australia have come over, because it could have been even worse for the ECB. And I'm sure there's going to be a few plans in place and a few different ideas. And as long as a lot of the counties can survive, because, it's difficult for every county to balance the books, and let's hope that it doesn't come to that. I'm sure, like every other business, the furlough system has helped a lot of businesses, and it certainly helped cricket. And I'm sure sides will just have to cut their cloth, and whether it means they slightly have to have part-time cricketers, or if they have to have certain teams to play certain forms of the game, then that's how it be. We've just got to all try and get through this, and hopefully come out of it the other side in a really positive way. That's I would say with anything. I would say that the sun will eventually come back up, and we all won't be queuing to get in places. We won't have to wear masks, and we'll be back to normal. But at the moment, we can't see when that will be.
We have talked about this on the show before, but from the other angle, that the possibility of some of the international sides going white ball only and stepping away from tests. Because of the sheer expense of it. With this current route that's going on about ICC funding and the money being directed to the chosen few, if you like, that maybe some of the peripheral nations will just say, well, we're not going to expose ourselves to these. We'll play white ball because that's where the money is for us.
Maybe that's what they'll do. That's something, like I say. Maybe that's the way they go about it. The lucky thing about this country is that we sell test matches out. We're probably one of the only few. Obviously, Australia and Aussies do, South Africa do, because we either take the Barmy Army, which obviously have been fantastic. So I can't see it happening in this country, if I'm honest. I see this country still playing the longer form of the game, because of the fact that the revenue that is around Test cricket, the sponsorship, the TV rights, I cannot see that changing. But with other countries, they've got, like I say, everybody's got to cut their cloth what they feel is right for them.
Yeah.
And we'll wait and see. Let's hope it doesn't happen, because I can tell you, Test cricket is still the absolute pinnacle for anybody to play, and it is what it says on the tin. It's the test of everything: your ability, mental strength, everything.
Now, I know you've got to be somewhere very shortly, so
Members Forum, Derbyshire Members Forum at 7:00.
Is it available online? We'll tune in.
It is. Get yourself on there. You can ask a question.
You never know. Before you go, I wanted to just ask you one last question. What is it about cricketers and dancing on television? Because you've done it, haven't you?
I did dancing on ice. Money, I'll be honest with you. It was the money. It was offered to me, money. It was okay. Look, it was okay. It was very difficult. I didn't do very well. I think I got knocked out in week 4. But
were you with Gemma Collins? Was that the one?
No. That was a year after. I think I was with Gary Catone, Denise Welsh. I'm trying to think who else is on it. Okay. I've forgotten. There's a few others.
But I mean, there's a few. So you've done that. Ryan Sidebottom, Rams, Goffey.
He did that. Rams, Goffey won it. Thorne, Swan, Tufnell. So yeah, I think ultimately what people want to do is when you're coming out of sport, you're trying to look for an angle to push your career on. And,
Yeah.
you know, you look at Andrew Flintoff now from what he was and where he is now. He's hosting Top Gear. He's now doing Celebrity Wipeout, as I see, with Paddy McGuinness.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and other people who have gone on and do it. So it's really just trying to push yourself forward, and nothing came from it from me, apart from obviously a lot of people winding me up about being in Lycra and all that. But
Well, you got a good double act with Butch.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, Butch is very good. I'm really glad for him. He's worked really hard, and I'm sure he'll be fantastic. Well, he will be fantastic, no, I'm sure.
Good. Dominic, thanks for your time. Better let you get off to the forum.
Yeah, get your questions then. Just ask me how Derbyshire going to be, so just get it in on the Derbyshire forum.
No worries. Do keep well. Thank you very much for your
Thanks a
time.
lot for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.